This is Hollywood, where this current cinema review is brought to you by PTB Screen of Australia, worldwide at ptbscreen.com.au and on Facebook, where you'll find promotions and information which reinvent the appeal of cinema-going whilst providing a space for current release information and archive research related to the past and present of the cinema. Matías Bombal with you. 20th Century Fox Film Corporation offers Tim Burton's latest oddity to the screen, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, based on the novel by Jane Goodman. Young Jake, played by Asa Butterfield, who you may have seen in Hugo or Ender's Game, is close to his grandfather, Abe Portman. Abe is played by the screen legend Terrance Stamp. One night, his grandfather's place has been turned upside down, and Jake finds him almost lifeless and without eyes in the yard behind Abe's house. With his last breath, he warns Jake of impending dangers from peculiars and their diabolical enemies. Terrance Stamp shared with us what is at the core of the relationship between those two characters.
His grandfather tells him the story of this home for peculiar children, where people levitate and do all kinds of extraordinary things. But he only tells him once, and he tells him this story very briefly, but it does set the tone for the adventure of the movie. So that's, why Abe's important, if I've got it right, is that you remember him all the time this adventure is going on, never really knowing if it's just an old man who's suffering from early Alzheimer's or if it's something that he really experienced. The way he behaves and the things he says are kind of extraordinary. And the people who don't believe him are the people who don't want to believe him. And the reason that Jake believes him is because he's a romantic. And he's not in denial about these things that Abe tells him. He wants to believe there are kids out there who have these extrasensory perceptions.
This sets into motion a curiosity to find out more, but Jake is hampered by his feckless parents, who, with the encouragement of Jake's therapist, agree to let him travel abroad with his father to find where the home used to be. What he finds is a sad, devastated ruin of a school bombed during the Second World War. There, by chance, the unexpected happens, and he falls into a time loop via a small cave, a loop which repeats the same day over and over just before the school was bombed. He meets Mrs. Peregrine.
We're what's known in common parlance as peculiar. 51 seconds late, Fiona.
Sorry, Miss Peregrine. How many carrots do you need for supper?
Just one will do. Peculiars have been persecuted through the ages. Hence, we live in places like this. I'm a type of peculiar called an imbrine.
Yeah, you turn into a bird.
Well, I do, yes. But that's not very useful. An imbrine's main skill is the manipulation of time. We choose a safe place, a safe day, and create a loop.
What do you mean?
Well, a loop preserves the last 24 hours. Reset the loop, and the day's yours to live in again. Reset it daily, and you can stay there forever. Entirely safe from the outside world. Every imbrine commits herself to the creation and upkeep of a place like this. A home for peculiar children.
That was Miss Eva Green as Miss Peregrine. with Butterfield and a young actress of unusual carrot-pulling strength, Georgia Pemberton, playing Fiona Frauenfeld. What a strange movie this is, slightly disturbing like many movies from Tim Burton, yet one must appreciate his singular sense of the macabre, a vision that is truly his own. I described this movie on the screening comment card as elements from The Wizard of Oz meet Pink Floyd's The Wall. The peculiars, mostly children in this case, all have some abnormality that makes them special. One boy has bees swarming inside of him. Another girl a large mouth under her hairline on the back of her head. Yet another is invisible. Jake begins a romance with a girl with lead shoes, worn because without them she would float away like a balloon. They are all in fear of their enemies that could destroy their time loop, headed by the villainous leader and his monsters. Jake learns of his peculiarity. He can see the monsters where the others do not. The head bad guy is played by Samuel L. Jackson. Other screen stars adding depth to the richness of the visual design include Judi Dench and wonderful Rupert Everett, a fine actor not seen often enough on the screen. There's one newcomer I'd like to highlight for you. His name is Finlay Macmillan. This is his first major movie. He plays Enoch, the son of morticians who can bring the dead to life. I think you'll agree his scenes are memorable. He shares his excitement to be on this project and working with Tim Burton.
I watched his films growing up. He's definitely an influence of mine. Really, and I've not told him any of that, because you don't want to, but you really just want to go up to him and just be like, you're amazing, because he's so creative. He's bonkers, but he's just great. I think he's on set, he's very much a technical guy as well as being a creative. He knows like Bruno Del Bonell, DOP, and Des, cinematographer. They're cool. They have their own kind of camera language that me as an actor, I had no idea what that means. But he's very technical. But when he comes to talk to us and give us a bit of direction, he's really natural, really genuine. He'll just play it like this, and have a little talk about it. So he's really nice to work with, really pleasant. It's not rushed. It's not. Yeah, no, I've not had any difficult times yet. It's all been really nice to shoot, and he's up for different options as well. If you said to him, "Would you mind if we try it this way?" He'd try it. He'd totally try it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just whether your idea is good. But the point is, he will take the time in you, and he's a genuinely nice guy, and he's Tim Burton.
Here's wishing Mr. Macmillan every continued success. There's a full spectrum of acting talent and ability in this picture, set against stunning production design. I found it to linger perhaps a little too long, with Samuel L. Jackson going just a little over the top, but you could tell that he was having fun. This might be too frightening for actual children, but fun for young adults into the twisted world and imagination of the very original Tim Burton. The Motion Picture Association of America has given this a PG-13 rating. This is your pal, Matías Bombal, bidding you a fond farewell.